I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying this out loud, but like, I believe in like people are brought to you and right things at the right time and everything happens for a reason. I always feel like I'm actively hiring without having job posts out and things like that. But it's like, if I meet the right human, not to say I'm creating a seat for them. That's what I don't want to get in trouble saying. Not that I'm creating and making up a seat for them, but I see that unique opportunity and say, I see this in you, or I think this could really be a fit for you, or I think we could fit in this way.
Welcome to The Roll Call, the podcast where we dive into the roles that define us. I'm your host, John Glahn. On each episode, we explore the journeys of people discovering their true roles in life, business, and beyond. Get ready for inspiring conversations about finding purpose and authenticity. Let's roll the roll call. Welcome, everyone. My guest today is Jamie Munoz, the one and only. Beautiful, talented, smart, just a bundle of energy for everyone. So welcome to the show. I think everyone here is accounted for. So let's get this roll call started. Jamie, we got to meet each other at the Visionaries Summit a year or two ago. That experience is always, I think every time we are moved to tears and all that good stuff. So we've been not actively working together day to day, but obviously we've been through some pretty cool stuff. And that's why I wanted to have you on here. So Jamie is the visionary owner, founder of Catalyst Integrators, and I'll let her explain that a little more because I think that tells a really good story about, really the roles that we lead and live in every day. So, Jamie, tell us who you are.
Awesome. Thanks, John. So excited to be here with you. Oh my gosh. Okay. So my story starts back when, I'm just kidding. We're not going to go that far back.
Wherever it goes.
We don't have time for that. So, my passion has always been supporting entrepreneurs. I never really identified as a visionary until probably a few years ago. So this journey has been a little bit new for me in realizing that I am a visionary and I am an entrepreneur. And I always had so much of the ability to take the ideas and make them happen. So I was always the integrator. I was always the right hand, the second in command, can make shit happen. So it wasn't until I had helped one of my visionaries grow his company where we got to a point, had a full leadership team in place. I also owned a boutique, which again, this is like, what do you mean you didn't know you were an entrepreneur? I owned a boutique for 13 years as well. That was my side hustle. I did that on the side while I had my full-time job. And I also supported local pit bull rescues. So I had some new puppies in the house. And so realized that I didn't need to be at the office full time anymore. My visionary was like, well, I'm going to go pursue other passions, live my ideal life because we got here and the company's running itself. It's self-managing. So I was like,
meaning you're running it.
Yeah. And I put all the right people in the right seats and I didn't need to be there every day anymore. I could just go in one day a week. And that's how I kind of fell into this world of fractional. This was in like 2018. Wasn't really a thing yet. I remember taking calls with people, telling people I wanted to work virtually and just being looked at like I had two heads. So I got my feet wet in this whole virtual world for the first couple of years before pandemic hit. And then I was like the best thing since sliced bread. I knew how to work virtually. I knew how to start grooming teams virtually. And so through the Female Integrator Mastermind, I had started meeting other females who were interested in going fractional. And so that's where this started for me, was like I had put in the legwork and the tears and the sweat and the no sleep to figure out how to transition from full-time to fractional. And then other people were like, well, I'm hitting that place in my journey where I want to go fractional. How do I do it? What does that look like for me? And so that's kind of like the backside of Catalyst. The other side is I had so many clients that I was like providing value to and they needed help. And I was like, well, this thing can't just grow with just me. Like I am the ceiling here. Like I am the bottleneck. So I can help them live their ideal lives. I can help these clients, get the fractional leadership that they need at this stage of their journey, which I'm sure we'll talk about too. Like having somebody come in as that fractional second in command can help be a bridge for you at many different stages. So that's kind of just my story a little bit.
No, that's awesome. And I know you, you slid past the part where, now you really are living in the visionary seat.
Yeah.
Because you identified as an integrator. For everyone most everyone that listens here is more, Bloom Growth or EOS, and they understand, hey, the second in command is really the first in command, meaning running the company. And so it's interesting to hear you say that, because there's a handful of ladies that are here. We're by the way, I should have said, we are on site in Phoenix, Arizona, your hometown.
Yes.
Which makes this really fun for the Female Accelerate Summit, Mastermind Summit. Sorry, it was a rebrand, so I'm getting my head wrapped on that. So that's what's really great is instead of identifying and staying in that, I'm the integrator, right? You're fully stepping into, holy shit, you are the entrepreneur that you always didn't know you were.
Yeah. It's like I fell into it, right? So I hit that point where I'm like, oh, holy shit, like I am the visionary of this. Like I have a team of nothing but integrators that I'm working with, but like we need vision to keep growing and carry us forward. And I remember being at an annual retreat one year. I've done an annual retreat since year one. Like every single year we do a retreat for the whole team. And I asked the team, like, what do you need from me? Like, as the visionary, what can I do for you? And it was like, they all just wanted, like, you keep growing, you keep developing yourself, go out there, get the things that we need to grow, like go out there and advocate and protect us and be this champion that can come in and hold this space for us. And so I took that really seriously. And that's when I was like, all right, well, I probably need a peer group, because again, I did so well with having female integrators and other integrators as my peer group always, but I hadn't exposed myself to visionary peer groups. So I looked at groups like, funny enough, Vistage wanted me to be a chair. I was looking at EO, and then I found Visionary Forum and Summit, and just found so much more connection to you and to everyone in that group. Just like hands down was like, these are my people. So I feel like I've been on my visionary journey to grow. I have a lot of integrator in me. So I'm one of those like visionary integrator hybrids, which I think a lot of entrepreneurs are. Yeah.
I mean, it's, that is a superpower, because I'm not. So there isn't a bone in my body that even whispers integrator, right?
I bet you there was when you started, though.
Of course, right? Like, we all roll our sleeves up and have to dive in and jump in.
But doesn't give you joy.
But man, was it exhausting.
Sucks your energy.
Yeah. So, what, that's interesting. So where do you, I know you have an integrator for your business now too.
I do now, yeah.
So are you living fully in the visionary role, or do you find yourself maybe snipping back in and doing some other things?
So right now we have about 13 people total on the team. We're 100% virtual. And brought on my integrator. She's about to hit 1 year. So that's been the first where it was like, I was the visionary and the integrator wearing all the hats, which again, it's like my wheelhouse, right? So I can, but should I?
Right.
And that was the question, right? Like, I am never going to live my ideal life. I am never going to grow and get to a place where I want to be if I am the bottleneck and I am just holding everything up and sitting in all the seats. So, I got really, really lucky in, I'm always kind of, I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying this out loud, but like, I believe in like, people are brought to you and right things at the right time, and everything happens for a reason. I always feel like I'm actively hiring without having job posts out and things like that. But it's like, if I meet the right human, not to say I'm creating a seat for them, that's what I don't want to get in trouble saying. Not that I'm creating and making up a seat for them, but I see that unique opportunity and say, I see this in you, or I think this could really be a fit for you, or I think we could fit in this way. And I had met Alex last year, and we just really clicked, and it really just felt really good. And so she's elevated me out of the integrator seat 100%. She's also our head of sales and marketing. So she LMAs our sales team as well, and our internal like admin. So I am in a few seats still. I also secretly have a couple of fractional clients. I've had one for 2 years and one for 4. Yeah. I'm actually their longest standing employee at this point.
Nice. I can see why.
Yeah.
And that's just to scratch an itch, right? Or
It's like, I love you guys. And I'm reaching the point now though, where I'm like, I want to work on my stuff, you know? Sure. So it becomes hard because I'm like thrust into integrator hat, how many hours a week, but then like visionary hat for my own company. So it does start to feel the pull, right? You start to feel that, and you never want to let something get to where it's like you're not providing value or your heart's not in it or you don't love it. I absolutely love my clients. And so I'm with them as long as they need me to be. And they're a lot of fun. Yeah.
Remind me, we're going to go off a little off. Remind me your working genius.
I feel like discernment and tenacity were up there. And ironically, wonder was in my frustration the last time I took it. So it's been probably 2 years. Wonder was in my frustration, I believe, because I didn't have an integrator. So I was getting frustrated because I wanted to wonder, but I had no one to do that with, and it wasn't working out.
So you know what? My man Armando just did a suggestion. We're going to have you redo it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
That's where most people, and I know many of our mutual friends have had this same conversation and same breakthrough, was they take the assessment based on what their job is or where they think they're supposed to be or what they're supposed to be doing. So when we shed all that and we take it based on what we truly love doing, it's a process, because I think mentally you're going to try to block maybe what might pop up. And that's been part of my examples that I'm going to share later, is that different breakthrough and what it really means. Yeah. Because, so I'm excited. We're going to, that'll be the output from this. And then we'll talk about that. Because I was asking that just because it might give a clearer picture of, you may be able to do integrator things, but it's really not a joy, right?
Yeah, it's like this shift has started to happen where it's like I'm seeing the other side, and it's also, it can become frustrating because like once you get a taste of being in that visionary seat where you like and want to be, if you ever get slingshot back, that's when, right? Like again, once you felt that, you can laugh afterwards, but when it's happening, you're like, this is not fun. This does not feel great, right? You feel like a bungee cord ripped you back.
Yeah.
And you're thrust in.
You know, that's the experience share on my side, right? I was like sleepwalking for a couple of years because I was trying to distance myself from not doing the things I needed to do. And I didn't choose to step back into that. And it's real.
Yeah.
Once you realize what it can be like, I do have a good team, always have, but getting pulled back in is just we thought we moved up here to this elevation and here we are, right, coming back. But that's also the roller coaster of being an entrepreneur.
It is. And I think the team knows it and they feel it. They also don't want that. You have a key team member leave or something happen and now you're more involved. It's like, we tend to then like go back in, like,
yep.
And so then that can damage the team or damage the relationships and things. So it's kind of like, I get that it's not all the things I want to do all the time, but it's necessary right now. And that's okay. It's the right now, not the forever. And start again, moving in that direction of who, not how. I'm just like, that is such a big thing for me, is who, not how. And when I start getting stuck in the how am I going to figure it out? That's when I need to just pause, think about who I need to go to, call my integrator. Hey, I'm feeling this way. I think we need somebody to do this thing. Like, and I don't think it should be me. Like it's catching yourself.
That's an amazing bomb right there for people to stop and to have the discipline to stop, because again, we're certainly, for a small business, we're accustomed to, like you said, diving back in and solving it, because this business was created because we were the ones that knew how to solve whatever the issues were. And so backing that up and have the discipline to just slow it down, I think is a great discipline.
I put a sticky note on my computer that says pause and take a beat.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's, again, it's like we just go so full force into like, I got this and figure it out and it's me. And I mean, even like one of my, like my executive coach, who's incredible, changed my life. Her whole thing is like, you need to literally get up and move. Like if you're feeling or thinking a certain way, like get out of that environment, like stand up, go fold your laundry, go get in the car and go get a coffee. Like you need to like literally get out of whatever is happening to be able to reset, to like be the person you want to be and be clear in your thought and not just we just go full force right in. Right. So yeah, it's knowing
the deep
yourself.
breath.
Yeah.
Love that. Enough on business. You are a dog lover, and I heard way back when you were in some of your intro was the dog rescue. Talk about your role and like our roles in the community, et cetera.
So I'm a dog mom. We don't have kids. So my husband and I are all in on the dog life, and that's our thing. Always had rescue dogs. My boutique hit our 10-year anniversary. And so I was trying to think about ways that I could give back, donate to the community, do something. And so I was like, well, I've always been interested in pit bulls and dog rescues. So I found one that was also having their 10-year anniversary, and we partnered with them for the year, and I was donating money and doing drives and all this stuff. So it gave me the opportunity to like get a little bit more involved and give back. Well, the thing for us was we had a senior dog at the time, and bringing home like foster dogs can be difficult if they're adults. So we were like, well, I can always do puppies. Puppies are easy, which ironically, a lot of people don't want puppies. They don't want to foster puppies. They don't want to do that. And I'm like, I will take all of give me all the puppies. So we became foster parents for our current 2, Luna and Lily, who just turned 6. Their Instagram is @2blindpups. And they really rose to popularity during COVID. So I got them right before the pandemic hit, fully blind pit bulls. Somebody left them in a box at the side of the road in El Paso. The rescue transported them to Arizona, and I happened to be in their volunteer group, and they were like, who can foster these 2? I mean, they had all kinds of medical issues at that point. These 2 completely blind puppies. And I was like, I'll take them. And then I asked my husband, I kind of more told him that that's what was about to happen. I'm blessed that my husband is so like, just go with the flow, kind, opposite of me, that like I can do crazy shit like that. And like, it's totally fine. So we were fostering the girls, having a real hard time adopting them. Nobody wanted to adopt them, the medical conditions and everything. And we just fell in love with them. So several surgeries later and lots of different medical things. They're still our girls today. And, it also allowed us to still foster puppies. So they love dogs, they love kids, they love people. So we're able to foster for local rescues here in Phoenix and also Maricopa County. But what I'm realizing is I just feel like I'm not making a big enough impact, right? Like we can all donate our little bit of time. We can donate money. We can foster a dog here and there. We actually just adopted our last foster. We failed. So now we have 3 dogs. So we just adopted Rosie. But I think what I'm being called to do is to find ways that I can empower these rescues to understand business a little bit better. I feel like I want to start, and I have not, like, this is the first time I'm even like talking about this. So this is very much like brainstorm right now. But if I could get involved and teach them or give them best practices or help put some structure in place for these rescues, like you can imagine these are people who love animals, but maybe aren't business savvy, right? Or they're doing it on the side or whatever. It's like, if I can help operationalize them a little bit and maximize their use of their volunteers, could they have higher adoption rates? Maybe could they do more of what they love a little bit easier? Yeah. So I don't know. I'm kind of trying to figure out how I can get more involved in that. So if anyone's watching or listening and wants me to talk to people about that, I'd love to.
I think that's the beautiful part is being able to, our roles in life and how can we blend them and how can we do what we're already doing and already what gives us joy. I would just translate that over and do that with someone in a means of help versus, to your point, versus just writing a check or whatever. Yeah. I think that could be impactful. That's rising the tide, right? For all those. That's pretty special.
So I'm putting it out there. I'm like saying these words out loud and saying that I'm going to do it. So
that sounds awesome. It sounds like I'll be checking in with you in a couple months to see where we are with that.
I love it.
Awesome. Love it. Well, hey, thank you. We're going to do one last little thing that I like to do, which is, having you think about a failure. That's the word. I don't love the word, but a time when you've had a failure that has turned into a blessing.
I got to pick just one.
Yes.
I think the cool thing is the way you just kind of described it, right? It's like when you see the gift or opportunity in the experience, right? You can, and it's funny because I always read all these business books and all these things and stuff, and these entrepreneurs would talk about these big failures, I lost this, I did this, all this happened. And I'm like, I can never like think of one, because I'm like, you just roll, like you figure it out, you adapt from it, you learn from it, or you grow or whatever, like it continues on. I haven't had any that I would say is like a massive, like, and then I was bankrupt and then I lived on the street, I don't have any of that. Thank God I feel very blessed for that. Might also be my integrator showing up is that, I have a plan for things and I'm kind of more risk averse. So I don't just go all in on things.
Yeah.
But I think what I would say is like, over the past couple of years, being a young company and only having a handful of team members, realizing that like, I am the last person standing always, right? Like when you are the owner, like it's you, unless you have a partner or, equity or people with equity even could leave. I mean, people could win the lottery. They could have a qualifying life event. They could change their career path. They could do whatever. Right. And I think for me, the biggest lesson was like, holy shit, like everyone else can go but me. And I get it. Like you could sell, right? Like you could do those things, but I'm like, oh my gosh, like no one else is tied here the way that I am. Yeah. And, I think that was a big aha for me when I had my first couple of team members leave the company. And so realizing the circle of influence that I needed around me, right? Like peers, like you, like, Visionary Forum, Coach Bob, like having people that have been through these things. I'm not going through this alone. Right. I'm not the only person that has ever dealt with some of this stuff before, right? I think loneliness is, it actually like is an issue in the country and probably in the world. Is that, we're afraid to ask, we're afraid to ask for help. We're afraid to show vulnerability, that we don't know how to do something, right? We got to look like we all have it together all the time. Yeah. And I think that for me was having that ability to say, I am struggling right now, or I'm having an issue with this or whatever, and not trying to like put on the face like it's all together all the time, and being able to be authentic in that way and vulnerable has been. So I know I didn't exactly answer your question of like an exact story of like this thing happened and then this thing happened, but it's more so the learning lessons, the big takeaways of equipping myself with resources in people or coaching or tools or development. Positive intelligence has completely changed my life.
Well, and I'll say back to your example you gave earlier about when it's something is grinding on your head when you're trying to do something, recognize it and stop. And whatever it's going to be, get away or find someone to help, right, with the who. Yeah. No, I think it's fantastic, right? There's no real outcome we're looking for, just perfect. Key learnings for everyone. So, Jamie, it's been awesome. Thanks for joining. How can everybody get in touch with you?
Jamie Munoz at catalystintegrators.com if you want to email me directly. Catalystintegrators.com is our website. We got a lot of fun stuff on there, including a swag store. So if you want to go shopping, holiday season is upon us. So I'm just kidding. We make $0 off of that. And yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. We're getting an Instagram started. That's going to be interesting.
Non-dog Instagram.
Yeah. Like legit, they have 30,000 followers on their Instagram. So I'm like, can I just like change the name of it? And now all of a sudden it's the Catalyst Integrators Instagram account. Cause mine, I think, has 600 total. Yeah. So yeah.
I know we know people that help us on that. All right. Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, John.
Have an awesome day. Thanks for tuning in to The Roll Call with John Glahn. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe for more insightful conversations. Remember, discovering your true role in life is a journey worth exploring each and every day. Until next time, keep defining your path and living your authentic self. This is John Glahn signing off.